few other signs here just as much as I can have time for before my phone gives out. So anyway, we're just going to start off with, this is a different deck. This is, of course, the Oracle of the Seven Energies. And then I will go to the tarot here as well. Just right now, we're starting off with just the general energies that are coming in for the month of February. What I would say here overall, sorry guys, one more second here. What I would say here overall is, I mean, just from the look of the initial cards, is these ones actually look pretty positive. It's almost like you're in a space of trying to push ahead, and yet you're still in a space of trying to pull things together. So there's something there around in perfect harmony. You know, everything is working out harmoniously, especially in regards to partnerships in particular. Whatever those partnerships are of that are of significance to you in the month of February. And I will say you're all going to be making different decisions, different dates, all of that. You're not all making the same decision on a Saturday, so and so, blah blah blah. But the point is basically is that some of you may be going into this energy, others may be, it may be a little further out. But again, stagger into your energy based on your own ability to heal from situations and all of that. So just be mindful of all of that. Okay, so going back into it, imperfect harmony, it seems like your relationships or your companionships or your business relationships, anything that is a partnership in the month of February, seems to be more symbiotic. So there's more of a collaborative connection in this month so far. And again, we'll be doing the tarot cards and pulling clarifiers not as well, but this is just big energies that are coming out. So anything that this helps I feel like your partnerships will be the things that help you to realign in this month. So something about your connections to people help you to feel like there is a lot more help in that space. Now we are into spirit of gratitude. So again, there might be something that you may not be feeling or you have not been feeling has been something to be grateful for. But this is really, an indicator that you have to really take stock of things. And in February, I feel like this is that perfect opportunity to express gratitude as you move through the world, as they say with the cards. So something here about a power source, and it's time to sort of awaken it. That's what the spirit of gratitude is. And it's also something of an energy that acts on your behalf. But again, it also speaks to using more of your compassionate, loving self to, get to what it is that you need. And so there's got to be more of a positivity, I would say, in the month of February, either coming through or more so that you need to be expressing more of that. We also have feeling the world. So that's something here. Again, these are just the main energies. We'll do the tarot following that. But feeling the world, there's a lot of energy here that's very big, very expansive energy. It also kind of speaks to being extremely sensitive, more so emotionally in this period. And it's also about taking more of a broader view of things so that you don't feel the overload or the overwhelm. It would be better just to remind yourself that, everything connected and it's there to support you. You just have to see it. So again, there's something here about a broader experience and something along the lines of, tuning in. If you're feeling a little bit off in this month is basically what this card also speaks to. And again, the tarot will clarify it once we go through that. This actually does speak to, hi Devoncha. uh, I am pretty good. It's a weekend and I get the Saturday off, so I'm pretty excited. Yeah, I always try to do 1,000 things in one day. It's just what I do. But yeah, how are you doing? And hi to all of my viewers here as well. So anyway, just to kind of get back to recap there, it's also something about you're being asked to be much more aware of how your words and your actions affect others in the month of February. So it looks like there could be something a little bit more of a challenge in that month as I go through this. As I said, I didn't really take a really good hard look at them initially, but now we're getting into close encounters. So there's something here about feeling a little bit more vulnerable. There's something about letting others set healthy boundaries where others have created some wounds, or I shouldn't say they create the wounds, but certainly there's, that interdependence on other people in our world. we're here to sort of pick up and learn some of the lessons and learn how to be, more patient or more sensitive or more whatever it is for you in your world. But it's also a sense of being a little vulnerable. So, despite there being some boundaries, and maybe there has been a lot of boundaries, this is that card of showing you that there are intimate relationships that have some meaningful bonds for you. You weren't meant to be alone. And even though there's a lot of walls built up around you, there's a certain level of necessary sharing of the heart. Then we get to power of purpose. So this one is really you working on something that is quite significant to you, that has a sense of uniqueness in the world. I feel like this is something here where, you're trying to develop more of an authentic you. This is letting go of anything that was like a conditioned response to the world, things that you had to do because you needed to, move something ahead in a particular area of your life. Yes, keep your foundation strong, but at the same token, you always have to put in that little extra time into you to build up the world that you. This is just about being, you're not there to please others. It is being on purpose. And failure is also a part of success. And it's not to say you would fail in this. All I'm saying is that there's more interest in something that has purpose, right? So regardless of whether or not the direction you go has a few stumbling blocks, it makes no difference. When you have something that moves you in the greater scheme of things, you cannot fail. All right, so now we're moving into the final. That one is clarified there as well by awakening the genius. So there's clearly something of real opportunity here for you that you would be mindful to step into. The fact that we are talking about awakening the genius does speak to something of a creative expression. Your ideas really matter in the world, is really what this gets to. And it's something here that needs to be channeled through you. It is something that you and only you can bring forth. We're all very unique and individual. Our expressions are very different. But in this moment, there's something of a new mode of expression that's very powerful, that's coming through to you, and is trying to awaken something in you, and that's your genius. This is your genius in whatever that area is for you. And when we get to the final card of Land Between, now, as I mentioned before from the initial start there, it does indicate that this is, where you're kind of reborn. It's a card of transition. So there's something here about you being in a space where you're on the threshold of something that's about to evolve, and yet there's an element of it that's still in the developmental phase. So this is really reinventing yourself. So whatever it is in February, you're in that energy of one foot in the past, one foot in the present, and another foot in the future, but you're learning how to manage through all of those different states of mind, and of course fear that goes with those things. But it's also where we get tested, is when we're sort of on the precipice about to step forward into something. So, but you are evolving those gray areas, so you're no longer going to be who you were in a sense, in the same sense. This is something that is metamorphosizing to be, a greater part of you. You're stepping into more of an authentic you, meaning you feel much more confident, meaning you feel like you have a better understanding of what's ahead, if you take this path, because it's something that you feel called to do. Okay, so we're going to go on to the next cards here, will be the tarot. Okay, so maybe we'll do the I was just doing a quick little. All right, we'll just do my basic ones first. All right, so what is coming through for the month of February? What are the main energies that are coming through that would be of great significance? What are the cards in terms of finances? And what are the cards of obstacles? And about any significant partnerships or relationships? Ooh, Khan is in the month of February. What is this victory? What is this victory, and what is the success? What is this victory around? What is this victory around? What is this victory around? What is being successfully achieved? What is being successfully achieved? All right, getting closer. And what is being successfully achieved? And why is the High Priestess, and why is that? Well, first off, why is the Hierophant here? All right, we're just about to get into it. Why is the Hierophant here? Yeah, I'm coming a little more regularly. Have been sick. I had some, for whatever reason, some issues that I don't generally get sick, but I don't know. Here, I guess I was doing a little bit too much, so had to kind of be mindful of my own health there. I'm glad you feel happy, Devansha. That's good. It's a, yeah, challenging world out there, so it's to have some moments. What is the High Priestess energy here for? Why is the Queen of Pentacles here? Magician here? And why the Eight of Cups? The Libra energy. What is the Queen of Swords? Why is the Queen of Swords here with the Ten of Pentacles? And what is coming in with the Page of Wands? What is coming in? Oh, my health is fine. I never usually get like colds or anything like that, so it's just an odd thing. What is the Eight of Wands coming in with the Ten of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords? Wow, why is the Tower here? Why is the Tower here with the water sign? Why is the Tower there? Good or bad? Good or bad? All right, and final card out. Why the High Priestess? Or sorry, the Hierophant. Hierophant, Three of Swords, Two of Cups. All right, so first off, I'm just going to say there is definitely a lot of relationship sort of dynamic going on in the month of February. I mean, given that the main cards out are relating around the energy of the unknown as well as the known in a sense. But what I see there is that there is something along the lines of a significant connection or significant relationship, something like that is pretty important here as the main energy. So we'll just start off with the big major arcana, which would be significant relationship connection. This, I would say, I am doing career on this, and I might do a little bit more on pulling a few cards, but right now it seems like the main energies that want to come out here are revolving around significant connections. Now, I would say that there has been a connection here that's in question, meaning it's been a difficult one where there's been a lot of heartbreak. Could be a Gemini air sign here as well, and for sure Libra, Gemini, Aquarius is also present. Taurus is here as well. But either way, the Hierophant is still that card that speaks to, for the most part, I'm going to gear it around relationship because that seems to be what's coming through here. But again, I mean, it could also stand for some kind of a governmental partnership here as well. So I guess I could sort of move it in that direction for some of you. But again, the Hierophant does speak to there being some sense of significant connection to either a business situation, business partnership. It would have to be a partnership of some sort, or some kind of a connection also with that, because these two kind of represent some kind of perfect harmony where everything's balancing out. So this, to me, almost feels like it's a little bit of the past energy. But I would still say, because that's balancing sort of the masculine and the feminine. But I feel like if you have been up against some kind of corporate energy or some kind of systems energy or some kind of it just feels like there's a period of recovery here, is what I would say, because the energy is speaking to something that's well established. And again, this could be a connection. It could also very well be a connection in business. So it doesn't have to be personal, romantic, and just can be a significant connection to you where there's a lot of energy around rules and well, there might have been some rules and restrictions placed upon you as, a business entity, but for others of you, this is more of a romantic connection or a significant connection where somebody, doesn't have to be romantic. Again, can be familial or friendship. But either way, it seems very centered around this traditional element. So there is something here that kind of speaks to things balancing out, like I said. And I feel like that's why we also have the victory card and you coming through in your own reading in a very strong position here as well. All of the cards that I've done further out here below are just the clarifiers. But I feel like your professional life is starting to be a lot more stable. There is more of a long-term sort of feel to the energy in February. Not only are we looking at, the Ten of Pentacles, which is an amazing card, and that's following as your near clarifier. But I mean, there's so many other cards here that kind of speak to things sort of balancing out. Now, there is one element, though, the very, latter end of things, which there's a little bit of uncertainty around. So I might pull more on that card in particular. Um, oh, my animated cards. Yeah, I have to, yeah, I'll pull those ones out here too. But either way, I just feel like this is still pretty down to earth, kind of grounded traditional energy. So there's something here about that being a significant, yeah, it's going to be some kind of significant situation here, a relationship that's sort of forming or shaping this part of the read in February. Now, the Three of Swords, I said, I mean, this does indicate that there has been some conflict, some heartbreak. There has been a situation where there hasn't been a lot going forward. It's been a stymied sort of energy. And I do feel like there's a part of you in terms of even in a business sense where you might want to strike out on your own, do something a little more independent. Not to say that you're leaving this necessarily, because there's still a lot of partnership energy that's very strong here. But it feels like it's something, again, could be like a side hustle, as they say, or something more business oriented, independent, entrepreneurial, just because of that King of Wands that's further out. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius also here. But there is something here about the Three of Swords as a minor card. So it's something that, this too will pass. It's nothing of great significance. But it does still speak to, there being some kind of painful situation where there is a healing that's started to begin or a healing that's starting to take place or has been, taking place, and things are starting to right itself, in the month of February. Like I said, the Two of Cups is a really strong partnership energy. Twos are all about the balance as well. Partnerships, sometimes it can be polarization, or there had been some kind of, something being off there. And it can also be a type of a decision or choice that you're making to be more independent for sure in a certain way. Again, I don't know that I see anything of an end of sorts. So I don't feel like there's a continuation of this particular energy with standards and high standards and business and all of that. I don't see any abrupt endings or anything in that regard. But as I said, Two of Cups does still speak to, there being more of a partnership of some sort, where things are starting to feel a lot more. And you could also be introduced to somebody of high status with that particular card as well. But either way, there's more of a sense of feeling much more complete together, talent, things starting to measure up, because there's just a lot more emotional balance that comes through in further out cards and as well between these two here. So, like I said, I feel like something about your connections in this period, again, to someone who could be more hierarchical, meaning more traditional, that kind of thing, starting to balance out. Smooth partnerships, more cooperation, and it just feels like there is going to be more of a balance, even in terms of finances here as well. There is definitely something here that's coming through in the month of February that speaks to a bit of a win. There is some kind of money that is also coming that you're moving into or moving towards. So if it's, I don't know that you're in the range of it. It may not necessarily be in tangible, in your hands sort of energy just yet, but it's very, very close to that. And again, it feels like there is dealing with something that, again, for some could be a contractual situation, with a more systematic you know, business of sorts where there has been something that didn't work out, but it is going to turn. Sorry, guys, one more second. I'm a bit hypoglycemic, so one sec. Okay. So either way, whatever it is, it's all starting to balance out. High Priestess, it's all the queens in the, wrapped up, and of course, is dealing with a lot of our inner world. It feels like you're coming off in some way a little bit more aloof, a little more quiet. I don't feel energy that is, it seems like you're kind of in the space of wanting to keep a lower profile in the month of February. There may be some hidden factors here, like I said, with that card as well. But the High Priestess is also dealing with some inner parts of yourself that you're concealing. I feel deliberately, because it's surrounded by so many other queens here as well. We've got the Queen of Pentacles following, as well as the Queen of Swords. So it just feels like the areas that may be more concealed here is not quite known to you is the monetary acts, and that seems to be where it's more concealed, because you're sort of sitting in a more forthright position here with the Queen of Swords. So again, and yeah, I'll do another reading for you, Devancha. I'll just do them, of course, at the end, just so it doesn't confuse with the rest. But I still feel like there's something here about strong Cancer element further out, not necessarily present in the immediate. But there is something here about being clear about the things that you want, or you are sitting in that position of knowing what you want, having a better idea of what you want, and you're moving towards that, because the Magician card was also out here. But again, there is still a hidden factor at play where you don't have the full picture of something just yet. But I still feel like you are getting clear on that. So there's a certain amount of detachment around a certain element that's hidden, rather, from your resources, or a resource is still sort of hidden here. But I feel like all things will kind of reveal in time, and especially because of so many of the other cards indicating of monetary elements. There's going to be further out some kind of a decision or something that you're going to hear about, I suspect, in the month of February, if not receiving it in February. But I feel like this could be from a governmental source, or some kind of system or business, or something that's, again, very large corporate sort of feel, or deals with a lot of traditional energy. So like I said, whatever that is for you, I think there's something that's going to come in that's going to speak to something going to move in your favor here, dealing with an organization structure, or again, some kind of established way of dealing with something. Again, it's going to be some kind of a communication that I expect you'll hear about in February, because there was initially a restriction around that particular card. So that feels like it's starting to open up. There's going to be some kind of a communication. Feels like it was something that was off-putting, whatever it was. There was something of a disagreement of sorts. The other part, and again, I'll go through and be a little bit more clear with them as well, but for the moment, we're just doing this sort of the general energy. When I also see the Queen of Swords out here, again, you could be dealing with an air sign. The Queen of Swords is somebody who presents as, being fairly direct. There is a Judgment card further out, maybe not so much under that particular card, but either way, the Queen of Swords definitely is an ambitious card. It is somebody that I feel is going to be coming big money, because that Ten of Pentacles is the very next card out here. So whether this is, and it feels like long-term wealth. So this is not like a one-time event of a win of any sort. To me, this is something that is earned for sure, because there's just cards of momentum. We've got King and Queen of Wands, and again, could also be part of the partnership, but it feels like one is a fire sign and the other is more of a water sign, or at least Gemini could also be that sign, and the other being somebody who's very charismatic. So that is coming through very strongly, where there has been some dysfunction, or there has been some kind of difficulty. Sorry, one sec. Okay. But either way, Queen of Swords, back into, a position of being more clear, direct communication, very independent. There's a certain sense of being very protective around resources here as well. Again, even with the Queen of Pentacles followed underneath that High Priestess, it feels like there's an energy around keeping something a little bit more um, quiet, again, going forward. But I feel like you are a problem solver and you have solved a problem in the month of February because something comes through in your favor here with the Six of Wands. So I definitely feel like there's something here that you're sharp. You're, not sharp as in abrasive, but, you're being clever. There's something of self-reliance energy coming through here as well. I feel like you're hiding your feelings, or at least there's not a lot out there in terms of how you really feel about something, but you are a better communicator in this period. Definitely feel like there's a lot of rules that you're either setting or, following, or both. But either way, there's a real strong reliability that comes through with the combination of cards I see here. And again, even when I see the King and the King of Wands with the Queen of Wands, that's very, very motivated, strong, creative energy that's coming through. But a lot of professionals in this read. So I would still say that the energy, a lot of people. So I feel like you are in some way going to be surrounded by people in this period, be a direct influence on your outcome. So when again we get to the victory card, you know that you've made your move, something has moved forward. So whatever you had a question about, or whatever you had sort of percolating or were unsure about, know that you will get that, what that was. And again, it could be around something corporate, could be around promotion. I don't see anything specifically new here about a new job, nothing like that. I do see things that could be in addition to an existing job, though, with, like I said, the entrepreneurial here. But I definitely feel like there is a lot more attention on you going forward with whatever this is. And I feel like you've almost met a marker or a milestone of some sort, because it does follow through with some kind of decision or big, kind of life altering decision going forward. And again, that's still clarifying energy, but the money is a little further out. Like, I'm not saying that there isn't money in this read. You have stable money for sure, just, but further out, there is going to be significant money, long-term money. It's slow to accumulate, but it is something that is compounding. I also, in terms of your career, your finances, or whatever this is, but again, there's lots of creative energy here, lots of grounding energy. And the only part that I see where there's sort of a suddenness, which I want to get to, and I'll go through that little combination of cards. There's the Tower card, and that was coming in pretty quick. So there's something very sudden that is going to have some kind of a change around you. But I feel like all the cards, like I said, still speak to you getting what you want, knowing your value in this period, even though, something is paying off. And again, creative energy for me can always be anything that is, painting or a business venture or something where you're having to use a lot of your creative mind. Again, book writing, anything like that as well. But something here that, to me, these are kind of cards, something that you would sell. Um, but either way, I just feel like a lot of this is going to be about you getting what you want in the period of February and further out. There's a lot of commitment to something, and it does feel like you're rising in value. There is still a lot of protective energy around you at this time, and that's the only element which, I guess I would say is really where you're trying to. I don't feel it's because you don't know what you're doing, or unsure about something. I mean, of course, there's always going to be things along the way, but it feels like it's more along that energy of, more along that energy of taking slow, methodical, practical steps towards something. Okay, so we'll go to. All right, so going to, again, we're going to look at more of the combinations of things. So we've got, again, the High Priestess, or sorry, the Hierophant. So the Hierophant with the Three of Swords. So I want to say there that, again, if we were talking about something kind of on a spiritual nature, I mean, that would be excuse me, feeling like you're going toward a higher path after some kind of heartbreak or difficulty. So again, that emotional pain, whatever that is, it would be some kind of, feeling of being cut off or whatever in some way. But either way, there's a sense that that is healing now, right? Because we are dealing with a combination of people here that are helping you to heal in the month of February. There may still be some kind of a disconnection here between somebody who represents as a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but there is still action being taken. And again, there is still energy here that's a little ambiguous, not quite known yet. So whether there's been some kind of emotional distress or disappointment around that particular sign, there is healing that's taking place. There is the family card. Again, it's a little further out with the Ten of Pentacles, but I still feel like that somehow plays into this reading. But again, looking at some of the guidance that comes through after the heartbreak and the difficulty mean that I feel like you have been able to evolve yourself in some way spiritually so that things are actually moving in a direction of moving forward either way. Now, we are also looking at, so it's a higher path of wisdom through some kind of established system. So again, whatever that is for you, you're going to some kind of higher authority to help you to guide through this. We also have, again, the Two of Cups, and we also have the King of Wands. Now, again, this is more energy following the main energy. So this is going to play out a little bit further out here as well. But I still feel like overall, all the cards work together, are very powerful, and they're very balanced, symbiotic, harmonious, cards. Even though they're dealing with a lot of authorities, and you may be becoming an authority in some regard here as well. But a lot of visionary, inspirational energy here as well in the month of February. Could also be some kind of attraction, between this particular pairing that also further will be dealt with, but in the way of working as a partnership or connection that one inspires the other, like a mutual ambition, shared vision, something like that. But I also feel like that combination is even though there's been some heartbreak or difficulty around it, whatever that pairing is, partnership, or significant connection or business partnership, but there has been an imbalance, but it is going to rebalance out that emotional connection. Because there's decisive action that's being taken with that King of Wands energy. So that is more about emotional support, but it's also actively pursuing a shared mutual dream or goal. So I definitely feel like there's something about a positive, empowering connection there. When we get to the High Priestess, and again, this is all the queens wrapped in together, but we also have it more specifically around the Queen of Pentacles. So somebody's resources would be the issue. I feel as even though there's some action taking place with this one, um, and again, the clarifying cards out where it's something that you're trying to manifest into being. So there's something here about you're making something happen. A lot has yet to be revealed around this. There's still so many other elements that have yet to come out, and I'll show you the other cards there as well. But there's a lot of deeply intuitive energy that goes on that's being balanced out with practical action in the month of February. So trust your intuition, basically. There is that hidden knowledge and having an understanding of things, whether this is something that is, something that you're, how do I say that? It's just something I feel that you're deeply connected to, whether you're aware of it or not. But there will be a long-term result that's going to bring about more results around your pentacles, like more along the financial aspect of things, because it's moving toward more of a grounded energy is what I would say there. It's going to be something that lasts. It does feel like stable family, home, all of that for sure is playing out here. I'm going to put that up there because I think that's a pretty incredible energy. But you're also nurturing what you're trying to manifest. Like you're trying to bring something about, and you're putting all elements of yourself into this. Like you're putting a lot of time, effort, energy, care, that kind of thing into that. Because that combination does speak to it being a very grounded, practical, moving it ahead sort of connection to something, but again, you have the spiritual insight that is assisting you in some way. So, whatever you're trying to manifest into the physical is happening. So, I feel like with the last two cards here that we're clarifying, that is the Eight of Cups, and then we also have the Queen of Wands. So, there's a lot, again, a lot of people in this, but the Eight of Cups is still, things that you are trying to release. Like, I feel like you're releasing something for sure and able to keep moving this forward. But the Eight of Cups and that Queen of Wands, it definitely has that energy of taking the next step towards something. So it's even evolving something even more than where it was previously. So could also be dealing with a fiery confident person, or you could be becoming that. But again, it feels like there's just more than one person here. There's a lot of people, a lot of strong mature energy in this read. So these are the people I feel that are coming through. But I feel like that Eight of Cups, Queen of Wands together is a really good dynamic, because it's signifying some kind of emotional withdrawal. It's also leaving behind something, that isn't in your in the greater good, right? Like, it's not moving you toward a situation that you would need going forward. So it feels like you're leaving the things behind, emotionally or whatever, the baggage that you don't need, because this is sort of that separation between the emotional, because this is a very emotional, highly emotional card. And of course, it's coupled with the Eight of Cups. So I feel like emotionally, you're unloading some of that baggage in this month of February. So again, you're putting yourself very strongly in a position of authority, independence, creativity, leadership. Lots of cards that speak to that. Really doing more of a getting rid of some of the unfulfilling situations here and focusing on the things that you can sort of tap into, where you put your personal power, where you put your courage behind it, because there's a lot more self-assurance is coming through in this read. Again, a lot of mature energy here as well, but I just feel like there's a lot more vigor. There's a lot more I don't even know if it's really enthusiasm is quite the word, but it's more inspiration that's very strongly correlated. So, and again, of mature energy here that you're dealing with. Okay, so now we're going on to the Queen of Swords, and we also have the Ten of Pentacles. And that is an amazing, so it feels like you were right on the precipice of something. So whatever this is, it just feels like there is a fair amount of legacy, long-term success, and abundance that's coming through with that. You were just about to move into this energy. Because again, your initial card out here was the Queen of Swords. Your main energies are, that you could be actually dealing with an institution as well that has to do with your manifestations and money and legacy. But there is going to be some kind of a milestone of some sort where you do gain some kind of leverage. But with this combination, and again, that's the Ten of Pentacles, Queen of Swords, it feels like it's more financial security, further out. It is it's kind of that energy of, being able to take something through to further generations. And it also means that you're making decisions with, a level of practicality and fairness, because the cards of Queen of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, like you've got all of them out here except for the Cups, the Queen of Cups. That is the part that was indicated that you were holding back on. So the emotions don't seem to be a factor in this period. It seems like there's a lot more momentum in all these other areas. So sharp mind, rational, that's how you're getting things done. And again, there is no reward for your effort, because we are looking at um, the Six of Wands. So there is something here that moves ahead, that you're just at the precipice of. But I also feel like you're gaining something in terms of finances as well, or at least there's some kind of a communication, because there has been a decision that's in in the uh, in the cards here. A decision has been made, and the money looks like it's just a smidge further out here with regards to something. But this is long haul energy. Like I said, there's small energy here, and then there's that bigger picture. So I feel like you're making wise decisions, but you're really setting yourself up for future prosperity with whatever it is that you're doing. And it seems to be focused around, familial things, because we've got that Ten of Pentacles. Whoever that is for you, doesn't have to be direct family, but it definitely feels like those that you are connected to that feel like family, or however it resonates for you. But either way, long-term vision for the future. And even when we look at the Six of Wands, like I said, that's the victory card, but it's also putting yourself out there, in some way. Um, because Six of Wands, there's a lot of action taking place here. Like there's a lot of steps, and even with the Two of Wands, it's like you're just moving something even further ahead. And there is a communication, like I said, that's coming through in this period. So we also have, like I said, public recognition, something that you're getting some kind of ready for. There is definitely the exploration of future possibilities, because you've got a lot of cards of success and triumph and public recognition. And again, even though the emotional aspects are sort of coming through very quietly, understated, it feels like your confidence is building, because there's a lot of mature energy here, a lot of kings, queens. Could be dealing with a lot of professionals, like I said, but I feel like you're going to capitalize on that victory. It's almost like that is almost one element out of many that I feel like it's going to impact the bigger picture, and it help you to expand the vision. So take action toward these future goals, because there's something here about, this combination signaling a time of expansion. And not only that, after that time of expansion, there's some kind of, you're being recognized for your potential here, but we also have a decision, and so it's going to be time to leverage that recognition and move it forward in some way. So again, there's something here about, taking a new step after some kind of recent accomplishment. And again, that decision with the Judgment card, it's still a little bit further out, but it is very near to you. It is in your direct energy field. So it's already, you're in that energy despite not being able to see it. But we've got Judgment, and we also have the Page of Cups, and we also have the Knight of Pentacles. So to me, that combination is definitely moving slow money, but decision is that things are going to turn around here because of that combination. Again, so much here around good news, uh, decisions, staying grounded, and definitely has all the energy about moving into a new phase of your life. But it feels like you're still reevaluating emotional aspects of your life. Hi, Shan. Hello. I'm just reading your comment there. Like, what is that? Like number 68 from Malaysia. I'm waiting to offer a letter from a company. Okay, and I will answer a question on that one too, for sure. Okay. So yeah, so anyway, and that final cards out there, like I said, do signal a time where you're going to make some meaningful changes that will be taking you to the next step toward, some careful, grounded position that is going to help you to blend. It's actually a renewal energy, because it's significant. It's a lasting shift in your life is what's happening there. And like I said, I do feel like, yeah, I do feel like whatever that lasting shift is, again, it could be a project or relationship, but it really strongly feels like project for me because of all that inspirational energy here. But it feels like there is going to be a really balanced transformation because of it. And hi there, Rick. Yeah, okay, we'll answer those ones there too. And the last energy out is the last cards I've got here. So I'm going to just read these ones. These are just the final clarifiers, but these ones were under the Pentacles. So I'm going to maybe pull them forward individually, just because I did pull quite a few once I saw that Tower coming in rather rapidly. Sorry, give me one more second here. Okay, so going into the Page of Wands, and then we also have the Eight of Wands. And again, I mean, I see like a lot of really transformative energy further out. Because I'm looking at something rapidly coming in, there's going to be some rapid communication that comes in that's going to kind of shake things. Again, Page of Wands represents some kind of a new beginning, enthusiastic time, spark of inspiration, all of that, new adventure. But it's also someone who's driven by a passion and has a lot of curiosity. But it is followed up by the Tower, so it's a fast-moving communication. So there's something here about rapid progress that is going to suddenly shift things forward toward a clear direction, because that is the Tower. That's where there is going to be some element of chaos or some kind of, breaking down of the old structures or some kind of shift in regards to a situation, I would say more around your, could affect family because it all sort of is in that same vein, could also be water sign, could be with the younger person here as well. But there is something here about some kind of communication or something here that is a bit unsettling, that is a little bit further out from February, that's going to present as a little bit of a chaotic situation. Again, it's just because it's unexpected and it's a bit dramatic with that combination. So it's almost like it needs to quickly clear to liberate you from the situation. Now, there is a sense that because the King of Cups is here following all of that, I mean, that could be, normally the card of balancing out one's feelings and staying calm, under pressure, under fire, all of that. But let me just ask one more card on that one, because again, to me, that could represent emotions are running high and that there is a situation of concern. So let me just see if that is a part of this picture here. What is the Page of Wands, Eight of Wands, Tower with the King of Cups? Is that dealing with an emotional situation that is going to lead to a negative situation or a positive situation or some kind of divide? What is that that's coming in? Okay, it's dealing with, there's some kind of a confusing element around something here. Again, this could be child. I'm also seeing that below, and we also still have strong water sign, and there is some kind of, again, decision cards coming out. I'm not going to pull all of them forward just for the lack of space here. I also want to let you know that I did pull these ones that kind of went in connection to this as well. So we do have sort of an end cycle where there's been hardship and a connection that could be dealing with a water sign father figure here as well, and child dynamic. That 10 of Wands energy, to me, this almost feels like it's more residual because of the connection. So adding in that Two of Cups, and again, this could be strong connections, strong connections where things have been really out of whack. And with the 10 of Wands, some kind of necessary cycle where there's been a lot of exertion on your part, a lot of, overdoing, is being, there's still a bit of a holding pattern in regards to something from the past, nostalgia, child, anything like that. But that is still needing a shift of perspective. But it's like you're now in that space, a little further out to February, where it feels like the weight of the responsibilities, has been really heavy on you. There's been a huge amount of burden, physical drain, emotional drain, a lot of obligations, like I said, and it just feels like you've been really in a place where there has been some challenge. Again, more emotional, physical, a lot of upheaval, struggle for sure. But I would say that the burden of this situation seems to be kind of balancing out here. Now, the only thing that's confusing me just a little bit here is because we do have the card of confusion along this side of some paused. Mind you, these two are the ones that initially came out, but let me just think on that for a second here, because even though there's an overload of responsibility, there's still a lot of emotional depth, especially when we see the Tower and its fast moving energy. It's almost like it's quickly coming to, it's quickly coming into the end of that cycle. That's what it really feels more so like, because the energy kind of speaks to that being. Let me just ask what is one more thing here. It's almost like there is maybe a time to lighten that load and refocus, rebalance emotionally, and there may be some up ahead here. Because again, we also have that Six of Cups energy, and we also have the Hanged Man. So there is definitely something of a sacrifice, I would say, that's going to be necessary further out, not in this energy right now, that it's like a wound from the past of some sort. And again, it could be around something of a childhood memory or someone or a child itself, period, but it's dealing with something of the past. And it's almost like if there is, a bit of a stalemate, or there has been a stalemate, Something's going forward. We have the Seven of Cups. Something is going forward in a situation. Maybe you felt like something was stuck, but maybe it was really just a pause for growth and insight. And again, we've got the Seven of Cups, which is usually more of seven is a favorable number, and it's also the Queen. So it does tell me that there is some mature energy that's coming in here that's helping you to sort of deal with and take action on a situation. So wherever you felt like you were at a crossroads, it's actually more of an opportunity that I see that's coming through, because it's allowing you to step back, assess what is worth your time and energy, and it's kind of bringing you back into a sense of purpose and direction, because that's what the Queen of Wands does. So there's something here about that energy being available to you. And again, you've already solved some kind of a problem in this particular month. And it does mean that you are sort of putting yourself back into a position of authority in some way. I'm just going to ask one more thing. Is that a Tower energy that, because there's a lot of inner strength that comes and energy that comes through navigating something successfully with that Queen of Wands energy. So to me, it feels like that's more of a past energy with that Tower, but yet there's something about it coming in rather quickly. So why is it showing, oh, the end of the cycle is wrapping up? Like I said, that's what it was. The end of the cycle is wrapping up very quickly. That's coming to a close and things are moving forward. Okay. So it is allowing you to cut through fusion there. That's what that was. So that Tower energy, what is that Tower energy leading to outside of moving back to passions and focus and realigning to the best possible self? What else is the Tower bringing through with that connection from the past? What is the Tower resulting with the connection to the past resulting with? Okay, there is definitely still some boundaries up. There's still some, but wow. Wow. Nine of Wands and Knight of Cups. That's almost an inch. That's still just an inch away of getting what you want, the wish fulfillment. So whatever that Tower moment was, it's rapidly coming to an immediate end cycle with that Ten of Wands. And again, you have the 9, the 10, and a 9 of Cups. So it is an emotional situation. So wish fulfillment from your perseverance has allowed you to become resilient, going after, facing the challenge, all of that. And it feels like you are, even though you're feeling like you're on your last leg, because of all of those adversities, it feels like it's a finish up card. You are determined to finish what you started. You're determined to create some kind of personal happiness for yourself. And there is that, you are getting the experience of personal happiness. That's what the 9 of Cups is. Oh, reading will almost be there. I'm just finishing up on last cards. Not to worry, but I feel like you're very tired. There's that last stretch, but you're in that place of, just further out from February, you're going to see that you will have endured through those challenges, because, to reach the point of, getting your own emotional needs met. And that's what that feels like. So it's going to be just a little further out for that, because these are all just clarifiers. But again, the 9 of Wands is one last push. 9 of Cups indicates the emotional payoff is totally going to be worth it. You just have to bring, you will realize that sense of happiness and emotional security. You just have to push through. You are very near the horizon. That's what that tells me. So let's on from there and do some of the questions there. What an amazing read. So even though, there's still residual energy here, it looks incredible. Sorry, one more second here, guys. We're going to switch card here also. All right, one more second. I'm always hungry, it seems. Sorry, guys. 2 more seconds here. Trying to eat the healthy food, and unfortunately the healthy food leaves me more starved. Anyway, okay, so, all right, Devansha. What are Devansha's spiritual gifts? 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 are Devancha's spiritual gifts? These are, why the Hierophant? Why the Knight of Swords? Why the Four of Pentacles? Something I would say in around, you would, something about the pains and the things that you, just doing it now, Devancha, yeah. But I mean, the Four of Pentacles, I'm also going to pull one more card on yours. So just that's dealing with different deck as well, but just starting off with the Four of Pentacles, I mean, it feels like you are someone that you do prioritize stable things, security. And because of that, you know, in terms of one's spiritual gifts, I feel like it's a need for control, but it's also very cautious about how you move forward with things, in terms of your finances, your energy, anything that deals with your stability. You're very guarded and protective of the things in a material sense, but I also feel like there's a certain sense of vulnerability there as well. So this card is really kind of encouraging you to interact more with your spiritual abilities, but it's almost like you keep them locked away. And, you know, maybe it's because you fear losing something, but there is a sense that you could, even though you know, sort of feel like you could fear the loss of something, and that might even extend to your spiritual gifts, or that you worry that you're sharing too much, or that you might lose something of your spiritual gifts. I feel like you don't fully trust in the reliability of that, possibly. It's almost like you do spend a lot of time in sort of grounding yourself, which is really good energy, and I think you need that to be spiritual in a certain way, because if you're all over the map and there's a lot of chaos, it's really hard to focus and be clear. So I figure that that's really more to your advantage. That is actually, that's a strong point, and I feel like you can develop more in that area because you are very grounded in nature. Yep, yours is going on, Devancha. So I feel like the spiritual aspect here is sometimes you feel drained by others, and I feel like sometimes you maybe put up too much boundary to protect your energy and not give things away. So I mean, that's just those ones there, but I still feel like, you know, it's a spirit, your spirituality is there, it's grounded energy. That is your strong point with your gifts, is that you are important to trust. If you put a little more faith in your in extending out your gift more, so I feel like you would be able to embrace it more fully, because you're very guarded, you're very contained. It's something about holding back as well, but it still feels like there is very clear thing, especially with the Ace of Swords. Like the Ace of Swords in terms of spirituality as well is really also that card of, it's a strong, powerful, you know, illuminated sense of something. Like you have a really good way of communicating. You have a really strong mental power to get knowledge, to deepen your understanding about things. But I feel like you're a little bit more closed off with, or more contained, not closed off, contained with your own spiritual gifts. So it's almost like you get a clear understanding of something, which could be even a fresh perspective about something. You see things for how it really is, but sometimes that's to your detriment, and then it puts up a boundary. So there's something here about a possible limiting belief that holds you back on that spiritual journey, but it can also go in the other direction when you open up to it, because the sword is that path for deeper understanding and higher wisdom, and using one's, you know, spiritual, intellectual powers. So you have very strong thoughts about things, and you are somebody who will seek the knowledge to understand something, you're guided by your intellect very, very strongly. I would say more so at this time anyway. But I feel like the reminder here is to be direct about, like, speak clearly about the things that you want to communicate, and don't be hesitant to express those truths or the ideas, because that can lead to your own personal spiritual freedom, is what I would say, something along that line. Um, it's almost like there is, it's almost like you're getting a renewed sense of purpose, because that's kind of a breakthrough energy here as well. But like I said, because the Four of Pentacles is like you're holding back on something, and I would still say, in terms of spirituality, it's like you're trying to find an inner comfort zone or a starting point, and maybe something is coming through from a deeper place, a deeper level, the messages, but it's almost like you just need to act on those images or those impulses to be able to receive it, because it's almost like you just need the starting point. Like I said, with the Ace of Swords there as well, even in terms of that for spirituality, because that's a really sharp, very honest, integral card. It's almost like you need to break away from some of the things that cloud your understanding of things. And I feel like somehow your intellect is a piece of that puzzle. Yeah, that's what it feels like, that you're searching for some kind of strong purpose. It's like there is a clouding of something that's holding you back. But, if you can sort of pierce through that, and it has something to do with the material world sort of blocking in some way, then you're going to be able to uncover some kind of spiritual truth. But I feel like the obstacle is more about using your willpower to problem solve, for sure, but there's something about needing to act on deeper wisdoms. So it's like you're either not quite, you're understanding something, but you're not acting on something, is what I would say. Like I said, because the Four of Pentacles kind of speaks to, finding the comfort zone. You need a starting point. And again, it's like, whether that starting point is, going to a church or going to studies, or like you need a starting point or a meditation or something like that. You need to be able to act on those things. And that seems like it's like that's where the issues sort of lay, because you have a strong intellect, like I said, and a very grounded energy there, and you are coming from a really good space. It's just like you're not acting on something that you need a starting point. You're trying to find that comfort zone there. So that's what I would say on that one. But then we also have that Knight of Swords. So that is some kind of, quick incoming information for sure. And it's almost like it's coming in really rapidly here. So I feel like sometimes your impatience can work against you. Slow down, take the time to process what it is that you're hearing or healing or listening to. But the card that follows was Queen of Swords. So it's with the Queen of Swords, again, if we're looking at something here with, because that's a mature energy here as well in terms of spirituality. So I would still say there that you're or you're learning to deal with your intellect, trying to find a balance between your intellect and your emotions until that spiritual path becomes clear. So again, if like it is kind of a lonely sort of path to be on that spiritual journey, but it's again knowing who you are and able to figure out where you're going. But again, it's always, what is your why? So if you know what your why is, is it important, then it'll carry you through all the obstacles. The other part of it is here with the Hierophant. That is very strong spiritual energy right there. So I mean, the Hierophant, like I said, is that card of empowerment. And it really connects you to source and all the things that are, but you benefit from something traditional. So it's almost like you need some kind of a system to sort of help you deepen those spiritual values. So again, whether this is a church or some kind of um, uh, organization or something like that, that seems a really good starting point for you to be that gateway, because you have a lot of commitment that you would be able to put yourself into this particular path with. And especially too, when I see it followed up with the Seven of Wands, that's a lot of spiritual energy right there as well. Because the seven is, it is that card of spirituality and perfect order and wisdom and all of those options and that kind of thing. So, like I said, the Seven of Wands to me is an indicator that you are also in a space of, you're in that space right now. I think you're just trying to find a comfort zone about which place to sort of open yourself up to in terms of exploring that spiritual maturity, get or deepening, finding something that will help you to develop it. It's like that's the comfort zone that you're missing. That's, you need an institution for you, I think, to get into that path. um but I definitely feel like spiritually, I'm going to say that that Seven of Wands energy does indicate that there could be something. How do I say that? Something where you might be firm in your ideas about something, and that kind of works against you because you want to defend that position. But to be most open or the most spiritual, it's also allowing yourself to be tested, but also allowing for mobility in others' belief systems. So it's not trying to convert them, but more along the lines of trying to um, accept them in, you know what I mean? Because you're on your journey and your truths will work well in your life. But there's something here with, I don't know, that Hierophant energy with, it seems defensive in some way here. Like I said, the Hierophant and the Seven of Wands. I mean, it's still a really strong combination, but I feel like your gift is that you're very grounded and you're very intellectual. You definitely have, a lot of energy here that kind of suggests that you have an ability to get clear and communicate the things that you want in a broader way. I feel like you really, when you commit to something, you really look for the wisdom in it. You really try to, go deep with the knowledge. And I feel like you're willing to commit to that spiritual autonomy, but I think you are also in that space where maybe I'm just not clear on where or not, why the challenge there. Maybe I'll pull one more clarifier on that one, because I definitely feel like it will bring you happiness. That's the card at the bottom of the deck there. Um, and I think what it is actually is that a part of our spiritual growth involves facing and overcoming challenges. And it's particularly those that question or test your convictions. But definitely stay connected to the teachings of the Hierophant or anything that's traditional. I think that is where you are going to gain, that's your comfort zone. Please clarify the Seven of Wands. Yeah, the Seven of Wands, King of Cups. Now, again, that's definitely mature energy. And again, I mean, it's looking after one's emotional, side of things. But as far as spirituality, it's still coming through very strong. It's almost like this is definitely your calling. Absolutely. But I feel like, again, there's still something about overcoming the opposition is going to be based on being being able to accept, conflicting viewpoints, but also um, finding a way to balance that by, emotional mastery for sure. Emotional mastery is here with that card. Yeah, but I would say that's kind of the overall energy that I'm getting, mostly that, you're very compassionate, you're very understanding. I do feel like you have a lot of emotional depth. I feel like your challenges and the way that you're able to handle things in those tests is really emotional resilience. I think that's really your strong point to reach that spiritual journey. But I definitely feel like that's a part of what you need so that you can, navigate struggles with ease. So rather than seeing them as difficulties, you're actually learning these so that you can show grace and compassion to other people and emotional resilience because you stay with a calm, cool, collected head. You're grounded and you're compassionate in the face of opposition. I feel like those are your strong points, but I feel like you definitely benefit more from traditional systems to gain more of a deeper understanding. Okay, that's what I have. Hopefully that was helpful. I don't know if that's what you were really looking for, Devansha, but hopefully that gave you a little insight. If you have another question, just throw it up there. And hi, Rare. Sorry, I haven't been booking readings or anything just because of my time frames, and I'm working on a few different things myself. But I will in the near future, I promise. This year I will. But just right now, I am kind of in a Rare. I'm just going to use the other deck for that one. For Rare, and then I'll also do Shan. Waiting for investors to fund projects. So you can get paid, but you're not sure when this will happen. Oh, time frame with tarot is always a little bit weird for me. I find that one harder to sort of follow. But okay, let's see what we've got here. And mostly because there's so many other factors involved. It's not, the time frame for you may be specific, but there's so many other elements that have to line up. Let's see if we can answer it in a way then. For Rare, will the investors fund the projects so that Rare can get paid sooner rather than later? Is this something that will be coming in quick or something that's a little further out? Usually when I say quick, I think 3 to 6 months. But the card that came out was an Eight of Swords, so I think you're worrying an awful lot about it. You might be self-sabotaging or restricting yourself in some way, even though I'm not taking that card, but it did sort of pop up. Okay, so for Rare, what is coming through as far as payout from the investors? Sooner or later? I think you're going to get some kind of a communication pretty soon here. It's almost wrapped up. The fact that we're looking at the Wands, that definitely does indicate entrepreneurial sort of connection to something, but the communication card is here with the King of Cups. So I feel like you're going to hear some communication next 3 months, like I said, about a project finishing up. So something is almost ready it's like an inch away. I would say probably in the next 3 months, if not sooner, for the communication. And let's see, what else do we have? What was the other one? For Shan. Will Shan hear from or receive a letter from a company? So I'm trying to understand. Please tell me when I can read my offer letter. Okay, will Shan get communication rather quickly about a letter? Will Shan hear about communication on a letter very soon? And will it be favorable? Okay, card that came out, or they kept trying to sort of flip out, that's a slow-moving energy. So I don't know that that's going to be any quick communication by any stretch. For sure, it is a monetary sort of situation. It definitely is something that has a certain structure, a certain process, in a time frame, but it is very slow-moving energy. Is there any immediate or within the 3-month sort of period that we can expect a letter from whatever it is that Shan is waiting on? Okay, I would still say though, even though there's a little bit of energy of a delay with yours. There's still, it's almost like a decision or something still needs to process with regards to whatever it is. You will have communication, but that wasn't the immediate card that fell out. The ones that came out is this is something that you really want. This is wish fulfillment. It's slow moving energy though. And I feel like whatever this new thing is that you're trying to sort of push ahead with, I feel like you're going to have to just wait a bit longer here for sure. It's about to finish, but I think yours is going to be a little bit further out. Again, there's some communication here, but it's more on the latter end versus anything more immediate. But you will get what you want, and everything does look like it's favorable. Cards show that there's no issue of concerns. It's just that the communication, there's still something that has to take place, and that's why you're not hearing any communication. Some other element has to fall into place before any of this conclusive energy, arises. So again, you're getting this new path or this new journey or this new job, but there's definitely something here, and it's wish fulfillment for sure. It's something that you want, but again, there's something that has to take place before you get this communication. So that's what's slowing it down. There's something you have to wait for that beyond your control. It's just some unknown element has not been dealt with yet. Oh, you're welcome, guys. Yeah, I love these cards too, actually. But wrecking them. I'm so rough with things. Anyway. Anyway, so I'm going to go on to the next reading for Cancer on this one. But thank you so much for showing up, guys. Really appreciate the support and the following. And maybe just one last card, I guess, just in terms of a return of spirit. That was the one I wanted to do too and I forgot to do that. Sorry, Devoncha, but we'll do this one. This one's a return of spirit. Don't use it too often, but I definitely, yeah, let's just see. What is the main energy for February for Libra? What is the main energy for the return of spirit? Cards in February for Libra. Violet Flame. And we'll pull one more. What is the main energy for February? Okay, I want to pull three, so let's just pull one more. All right, so really good cards, actually. Okay, so we have Voice. We also have Return of Spirit. And we have, these ones I do not do very often, so I'm going to refer to the book on this one because I think these are probably a little bit more involved, but I mean, they definitely speak to very good energy. Okay, so the Violet Flame card, start with that one. The Violet Flame card is talking about experiencing a dark or difficult time at some point. So it feels like it won't end, but in fact, the only way to conquer the shadows in our life is to turn off all the lights, face the darkness head on. It's a process of purification. So the violet flame shines its light, providing you the way and the means to see your way out of the inner darkness. Once the shadow conquered, the experience you are having right now, although painful and challenging, is providing the means and the opportunity to clearly see what is and is not working in your life anymore. It can help you to see how you've been allowing yourself to be in the world and how you've been holding yourself back. It can help bring you the clarity to recognize the people who help serve your highest good and those who do not. In the center of the fractal image is the symbol of the bat. In animal medicine, the bat is a symbol of change. He holds the light of the violet flame for you as a means of guiding you through the process of change. When you do make your way back, your will find that neither you nor your life is exactly the same as before. Change is an inevitable part of the process. It is nearly complete, sweet soul. Just know that once you've made your way through, you will be stronger, both within yourself and on your journey. You will have more clarity about your path and how you want to walk it. That's incredible. All right, and now let's go to Voice. Okay, so Voice. Let your voice be heard. You are a beautiful, wise being of the divine. No more holding back. Bring forth your individual truth. Staying small, no more staying small. Now is the time to use your gift of words, the power of your voice. Say what's important, say what you feel is needed. This is also a card of asking you to step out in front of groups or talk. It's an opportunity to be vocal about what you think or believe. It has a unique expression. Sing, chant, pray, speech, teach, whatever it is that you do. Stating a view either way, your needs, your desires, regardless of how different they may be. It's a time to remember who you are. Stand up for yourself. Communicate what empowers you. That excellent as well. We also are on to Return of Spirit. Okay, let's bring that one forward. So Return of Spirit. You have come a long way in your journey. It hasn't been easy. Acknowledge for just a moment, the strength, the courage that you have discovered within yourself. This is the card of triumph. It's a heartfelt connection of mastery. Hold your head high, feel proud of who you are. Your hard work and your determination is paying off. There's a renewal of your heart, mind, spirit. Trust in it. The flow of giving and receiving the messages from the heavens. The time has come, and it's now. It's a time of manifesting your highest will. A time where you can experience true empowerment, deep, heartfelt connections with others, and a feeling that is all is right in your world because you have done the work. And they really do seem to tie in very well, actually. And the next card out is Fearless. So fearless, it's natural, normal, and healthy. It's a part of the survival human mechanism. Sometimes fear can take us over in an unhealthy way, but it can and stop us dead in our tracks. But it can also be, an energetic imprint of fear that's blocking your necessary progress forward in your life. The fact that you're experiencing fear right now is a sign that you are about to take a very important step forward on a path. It can also indicate a path is being blocked from the negative, fearful energy you hold. This card brings the self-loving energy of spirit to give you the emotional support you need. It is strengthening your heart center to help you overcome your limiting beliefs and your fear-based thoughts and the things that hold you back. Too much of your time has been spent thinking about the things, I think this is like the Eight of Swords base. Too much of your time has been spent thinking about the things that you think or feel you need to do in your life. It's now time to begin taking action, baby step at a time. Where there is fear, there is a lack of faith. It's time to put your trust in the hands of spirit. There is a reason you are feeling called to take action. And there is also a reason why you are experiencing the blockage of fear as well. So quite often, the one thing that we fear to do is the very thing which leads us to our own personal salvation and empowerment. Fear is the factor which we must all overcome in order to step into our power. Breathe, relax, release your mind, trust yourself. Begin taking the necessary steps forward despite your fear. Your fear is a feeling, it's not a reality. You cannot remain small any longer. Your heart is calling you onward. Be brave, be fearless, just go for it. Okay, and on that note, until the next read, going forward, guys, and never give up.